In this installment, we have a Monday Night Football Showdown slate on DraftKings. We have an NFC West battle between the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Monday Night Football Showdown slate on DraftKings between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City. So we have a special international Monday Night Football matchup here, NFC West. This is going to be a very exciting game to watch. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon if you want more DFS betting and fantasy football advice. All those links will be provided down below. Before we get to the captains and the flex ops, the first thing we're going to look into will be this injury report for this Mexico City matchup. All right, now, first thing for the San Francisco 49ers side of the ball, not that many injuries. Eric Armstead is out yet again. This is his 6th consecutive game out, so there's no big news here. They already understand that he's going to be out. That's fine, all right? Samson's Ibukam is questionable, all right? They're going to need him to solidify this defensive line. We're going to wait on news Monday morning to see if he's going to be able to play in this game, all right? On the Arizona Cardinals side, they're a little bit more hampered here. Zach Ertz, devastating injury last week. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Tackle DJ Humphries is going to be out, and leader cornerback Byron Murphy here is going to be out as well. All right, we got Max Garcia as questionable, DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray as questionable as well. The closest person that's going to be out in this game is Kyler Murray, so we have to wait on news, because if it's not Kyler Murray, these guys will go to Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy was very serviceable in the prior week, so they want Kyler Murray. Obviously, he is their star quarterback here, but he is right in the middle, so we really do not know. Wait on news, and then we will adjust accordingly. All right, now let's move over to the captains. The El Capitans for this Monday Night Football Showdown slate. We're going to start off at the top here in Christian McCaffrey, newly acquired Christian McCaffrey, getting himself very acquainted with this offense. We had a big blow game against the Los Angeles Rams and 40 fantasy points there. Used in both assets of this offense, rushing and receiving, 18, 94 and a touchdown, 8 for 9 for 55 and a touchdown. Very dynamic weapon here, Christian McCaffrey. And then against the Chargers, came through with 17 fantasy points. All right, if we're paying this top dollar for this player at that captain's position, we need at least 25 plus fantasy points from him. I believe he can do that in this situation here because the matchup is very good. If you're looking at fantasy points allowed to the running back position, this is one of the struggles of the Arizona Cardinals here. If we go all the way down, we got to scroll real down for the Arizona Cardinals here against running backs. 28th overall, 27th in the red zone, 107 yards rushing a game, 4.9 yards per carry, 1.7 TDs. So that is alarming straight across there. This could be a big spot for both of these guys. All right, there's 2 running backs in this offense. Let's not forget, they're going to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to run the ball with Elijah Mitchell as well. So Christian McCaffrey is a love at that captain spot. All right, next guy we're going to talk about, Kyler Murray. We got to bring him up if he is going to play. They're going to need him to be a big X factor. He's going to have to create with his legs and get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, get the ball to Trey McBride, get the ball to Rondale Moore, and those type of guys, because this defense here in the 49ers has a very strong rush defense. So it's going to rely on the shoulders of Kyler Murray. So if he's going to play, then he's going to have a big game. So Kyler Murray here is going to be someone we can consider at the captain spot. DeAndre Hopkins, his #1 option here. This man's going to get the bulk of the targets. As you've seen, since he's been back, we have 3 out of 4 games with double-digit targets, all right? 14, 13, 14, and a 5-target game. He's been an absolute monster. If you waited for him in your fantasy football leagues, he is paying off in spades, all right? So DeAndre Hopkins is another like at this captain position, all right? Jimmy Garoppolo, surprisingly, despite the fact he, is very mediocre, all right, in the fantasy points department, Jimmy Garoppolo is in a very good matchup. We go to fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks here. We got to scroll yet again. We got to scroll all the way down to these Arizona Cardinals, all right? 23rd overall, 30th in the red zone, 238 passing yards per game, 1.7 touchdowns allowed to quarterbacks as well. So that's going to bode well for Jimmy Garoppolo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, all the guys that they have, Deebo Samuel, right? So he has a ton of weapons, even Christian McCaffrey, right? So Garoppolo can be considered as a captain position, but most likely he will be a flex player, right? Listen to me clearly. He's most likely going to be a flex play to pair with your other guys, right? So let's continue to go down in our captain position. I don't like James Conner. All right, James Conner, for him to go off, he would need to fall in the end zone multiple times. This is not a good matchup going up against the San Francisco 49ers front. All right, even with Eric Armstead out, all right, fantasy points allowed to the running backs. This is one of their big strengths here. San Francisco 49ers, number 3 in the league, number 1 in the red zone. All right, only 38 yards rushing allowed, 2.7 yards a carry. So I don't like James Conner as a captain play. He can be moved down to a flex option, all right? Next guy we're going to talk about will be dynamic wide receiver here, Deebo Samuel, right? He's still getting carries as well. So this team is utilizing three guys in the rushing department. Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey, all right? So right now, Deebo Samuel, it's unfortunate because he's getting a little bit less routes here, a little bit less usage. Brandon Ayuk is emerging as a number 1 wide receiver now. So Deebo Samuel is an okay captain to go for because he could definitely be a game breaker in this environment here. Brandon Ayuk is someone I like more at the wide receiver position. He's been super consistent the last 5 weeks. We got 11, 6, and 7 targets in the last 4 games. We have 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games as well. And we have 4 games of over double-digit fantasy points, all right? That's what you want if you're paying in that mid-range for one of your flex options. And this man can be a captain spot to go for, right? So I'm loving Brandon Ayuk in this game going up against the secondary of the Arizona Cardinals, all right? One more guy before we move on to the flex ops. That's going to be George Kittle because this is a premier matchup. And George Kittle is coming off a very poor performance going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, where he only saw 1 reception, 2 targets for 21 yards. After having back-to-back games with a touchdown, let's look at fantasy points allowed to that tight end position. And this is yet another scenario where we have to scroll all the way down to the Arizona Cardinals, 29th overall, 21st in the red zone, allowing 8 receptions, 79.7 yards a game to the tight end position. And George Kittle is an elite tight end. I love him in this game environment going up against the Arizona Cardinals. All right, those are going to be our captains. Let's move on to our flex ops. The flex ops, we're going to look at the first one we're going to key on will be Rondale Moore, man. He's been emerging as of late as a very solid number 2 option. Look at the past 2 weeks, 23 targets, 17 catches, and over 160 yards for Rondale Moore in the past 2 games. We want him to get in the end zone to really have a breakout game like he did against Minnesota, 7 for 92 with a TD there. But Rondale Moore is in a very good situation with all the attention on DeAndre Hopkins. He's flying under the radar and becoming really productive, despite the fact that I was kind of shitting on him earlier in the season with Greg Dortch coming up and being productive. Rondale Moore has come back from his injury and has looked very solid. He's going to be someone that we can key in on at that flex position, all right? As we continue to go down lower, the next guy we're going to look at will be Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell is splitting carries with Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's getting around 60 to 70% of the snaps. and then Elijah Mitchell is getting the remainder 30% here. So he is being productive, as you can see, 18 carries in this game against the Chargers. So you definitely want some exposure to Elijah Mitchell. The question is, will he get in the end zone to officially pay off his salary? And hey, you got to take the shot, especially how effective this run game is for the San Francisco 49ers. So Elijah Mitchell is a smash play there. Rondale Moore as well. As we continue to go down, let's look at the defenses and the kickers here. Defense, I will consider, will be the 49ers defense. They have a strong front all over. The question mark here will be the Cardinals. They are viable as well. Garoppolo has a tendency to turn over the ball, and the Cardinals are a little bit of a ball hawk type of team here. Yeah, as you can see, looking at their fantasy points per game, 8 fantasy points per game. So not that many negative performances, only one so far this year. They have games where there's over double-digit fantasy points. They have games with almost with multiple interceptions as well. So the upside is there for the Cardinals defense, and so is the 49ers defense as well, especially if we're looking at Colt McCoy. Maybe they can get him into some scenarios where they can force some turnovers. So both defenses are viable, and both kickers here. We got Robbie Gould and we have Matt Prater here for Arizona. So we're going to go with the defenses and kickers on both sides. All right, let's clear this out. Let's see if we can find some more value for here down below. All right, AJ Green will be third on the list as a wide receiver. I don't think you need to go this route. He was able to get in the end zone against the Los Angeles Rams, which was a very rare occurrence because he has a lot of games with zeros in it. So AJ Green, that's if you're super desperate, but I think you can stay away from him. Other plays we can look down below, defenses and kickers. We have Juwan Jennings as the number 3 wide receiver for San Francisco. He's getting a consistent amount of targets, as you can see, each and every week, 3 to 4 each and every week. The question is, can he get in the end zone? He has not had a touchdown yet this year, so there is some upside in this play. And if we're looking at his snap count here for the San Francisco 49ers, the wide receiver position, Juwan Jennings is seeing the third most snap counts at a 32%, okay? We got Brandon Ayuk at 97, Deebo Samuel at 87, and then Juwan Jennings is that number 3 wide receiver. So he is viable as a flex play, all right? As we continue to go down, Greg Dortch is in the back seat now. Keontae Ingram is the backup running back in this offense. Say James Conner struggles and they're in a scenario where they need to throw the ball, Keontae Ingram provides some explosiveness, all right? So we'll throw him in the flex pool. If this game gets out of hand, San Francisco is dominating, maybe they just change things up with Keontae Ingram as the running back, all right? They will not be too shy of doing that, all right? Next will be Trey McBride. Trey McBride is going to be stepping into a situation where he's going to be taking over for Zach Ertz, all right? It's not going to be cut and paste, but Trey McBride is going to have some bumps in a row, but he can have some upside in this game going against the San Francisco 49ers here. So at this very cheap salary of $1,000, I will consider Trey McBride as a bottom tier flex play as well. All right. Risky play here. We got Kyle Juszczyk. He's still getting around that 30% allotment of snap counts. He'll have a game or two where he's getting a couple catches, as you can see, 3 for 34, 4 for 33, 2 for 27. For Kyle Juszczyk to pay off at this very cheap salary, if you're comfortable with everyone else at captain, at the other 4 flex spots, and you just need someone that's going to get you something, all right? And that's a lot of these lineups, all right? They pay up at captain and at their other flex positions, and they just go for someone that is capable of getting anything under 1,000. Kyle Juszczyk can be that guy for you, all right? So that's how far I would go in our lineup builds will be Kyle Juszczyk. Let's key in on all the 3 to 4 guys that we love for this Monday Night Football slate. Number 1 will be Christian McCaffrey because of the poor running defense on the Arizona side of the ball. Number 2 will be DeAndre Hopkins because no matter what, if it's Colt McCoy or Kyler Murray, he's going to get double-digit targets, all right? He's going to have a ton of upside in this game. Number 3 will be George Kittle, because this is a perfect matchup for him, and a game where he can step out, where a lot of people are just going to be looking at Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk is very sneaky. I like George Kittle in this game, and if we can find a second Arizona Cardinal for you guys to choose, it would be Rondale Moore. All right, so we're gonna focus in on these 4 guys in our lineup builds, build around them, get really creative here. Let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other plays at captain and at flex. Tell me your ideas. All right, we can definitely brainstorm on some of these lineup builds. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back very soon with another video. All right, peace out.